Hello. AAC allows daily communication for people who need it. I want to take it to different fields and disciplines. At the last conference, I talked about using AAC in the criminal investigations. And this year, I want to talk about using AAC for the legal aid lawyers in Israel. The goal was building a set of symbol boards for legal aid lawyers for their use in civil procedures in the representation of people with disabilities who have difficulty in expressing themselves in speech or organizing their messages. The boards were adapted to legal professional vocabulary and to the work of the lawyers, and a number of unique symbols were even developed for this purpose. The challenge of the lawyers while representing people with disabilities created this need. The AAC board were created in order to provide optimal communication in legal proceeding. The legal aid in the Ministry of Justice is a division that provides legal representation in civil proceedings. The legal assistance includes over 20 areas of expertise, including representing people with disabilities. The Department of Older Persons Representation and Legal Capacity Affairs was established in 2015. Each year, within the framework of the system, tailored representation is provided in approximately 5,000 new cases and in 10,000 procedures. The department includes about 120 lawyers divided to 6 districts. The department is tailoring a legal suit for each person specifically. The legal aid system provides tailored representation to people with disabilities who have difficulty in conducting legal proceedings. For example, people with intellectual development disabilities, mentally challenged, autistic people, people with dementia after traumatic events, and more. The clients are people who belong to these groups mentioned above or those who pass financial eligibility tests. The lawyers work in the Ministry of Justice or are employed under contract and do not receive compensation from the clients. So our team was Dr. Advocate Meital Segal-Reich, the National Supervisor of the Department of Older Persons Representation and Legal Capacity Affairs in the Ministry of Justice, an expert in legal capacity, ethics, and in representing people with disabilities and the elderly population, a lecturer in the Department of Welfare and Health in the Faculty of Social Science in Bar-Ilan University. And myself, Neta Ben Zeev, SLP, specialist in AAC, the national coordinator of the SLPs who accompany the special criminal investigations with the help of AAC in the service of child investigation and special investigations in the Ministry of Labor, Welfare and Social Services. And Merav Sadovsky, the developer of learning methods, experienced in developing learning products and accessible tools for youth and adults with disabilities. The work process. Mapping and identifying needs, development of symbols adapted to innovative legal issues, development of a unique AAC board to assist in argument in court, focusing using inputs from lawyers from the Department of Older Persons Representation and Legal Capacity Affairs, development of a digital format that is accessible and convenient for use and learning. And we have future plans to develop workshops and tools for the training of the lawyers in the Department of Older Persons Representation and Legal Capacity Affairs for the use of the boards. We ask lawyers about the symbols. What would they like to change or make a difference? For example, they suggested adding symbols for homeless and living with roommates, for the question, where do I live? And here you see the board before and after. So we have some kinds of boards. The main board structure is legal planning. What would I want the power of attorney to decide? How many power of attorney would I want? What I want to be in my will. In preferences for support and help, for example, what help do I need? In an introductory conversation, for example, who I am, where I live, what I like to do. In court hearing or guardianship matters, preparation for the court hearing, what is important to me in my life, what topic do I need help with, how do I want to make my decisions. In procedures, in medical matters, what treatment will I agree to receive and where? And in civil procedures and risk situation, about divorce, death, and who hurt me. The structure is same for all boards, the leading question and the board. For example, the board that enable person to introduce themselves according to the question, what I like to do. We divided it to what I like to do at home and what I like to do outside. Most boards include possible answers to the question. Like here, the question is, where do I live? Or where do I want to live? We have additional board types, like boards to help with organizing answers, like my schedule, what's my name, where do I live, what do I like to do? And a board for understanding the procedure. What does the lawyer do? How it is in the court? What does the judge do? We have yes-no boards in writing and in symbols, and a symbol of something else or someone else or somewhere else is on each board in the same place. Here you see people boards. They are linked from other boards. The leading question is who, with who, or who will help me, or who will give me medical care, or who will be my guardian. And we have new symbol development. For example, power of attorney. The client gives official authorization to the power of attorney, and we use the state symbol. Or a guardian. The client speaks and the guardian decides for him. But the supporter the supports of decision making, the supporter makes suggestions and the client chooses his changes. We combined new symbols into a new symbol. For example, the power of attorney. We can use several attorneys to decide separately or several attorneys to decide together. We used some existing symbols, but in a different meaning. For example, in personal matters, using the live symbol for personal matters, or get help, using the together symbol for help. We saw that the existing symbols show the person who needs help in a very needy way, so we chose another symbol. Or housing in the community, we used the group symbol. Sometimes we combined symbol, like medical treatment. We did not find a good enough existing symbol, so we created a combination of a doctor and medicine. And we changed the direction of symbols left to right to left as we write in Hebrew. I want to tell you about an example case that we had. An elderly person after a stroke, and he could not speak, with terminal cancer. He had to decide which of his children will be his guardians. His children were unable to reach an agreement on this matter. I accompanied a lawyer from the legal aid in the conversation with him. We prepared the questions and the boards before the meeting. We used the boards we developed and created boards of the children's name and a combination of them. The person had clearly expressed his desire for two of the three children to be his guardians and described what help he wanted from them. We have future plans to create printed AAC boards for the use of the lawyers, to add content to the Ministry of Justice website, to build and deliver training across the country, and expose this subject at conferences, and to continue developing symbol as needed. The lawyers of the legal aid in Israel are now using AAC. This is a progress. Another discipline is using AAC. Thank you for listening, and feel free to contact me at any time. Thank you.